Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, to address whatever topics you might like to discuss and whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. We are here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, because God is concerned about that which concerns you. We are having a little technical difficulty this morning, this afternoon. So I am righting the ship as we speak, but I want to thank you all for your patience and for tuning in every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted. We are here to discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families, whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind. God is concerned about that which concerns you. So we are here live in the FijiWater.com sponsored studio every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted. And as always, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D is brought to you by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural artesian aquifer that is sustainable, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is Earth's finest water. It's not just water, it's Fiji water. And for those of you who continue giving on the gift segment of our app at New Life Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on our websites at newlifeministriesinternational.com and newlifeinternationalcdc.com, we thank you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers, and I think we now are back in order with our technology. So thank you for your patience. And I want to begin by addressing a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are considering relocating to another city and state because you feel that you need to make a change. And you want to know, is this the right move? And how can you ensure success in relocating? So I was prayerful about this, and God showed me in that secret place of your life. First of all, you're in a beautiful area now. And some people might think because, pardon me, you're in an area where you basically only have one continuous glorious season. Many of us would enjoy that, but we do like 4 seasons in our region, except for snow. But having said all of that, you're in a place where there's sunshine year round. You do have rain, of course, but you're in a preferred climate, for lack of a better term. Now you're thinking about moving to another area, another city, another location, another state. This is not what God has appointed for your life. And what God showed me in that secret place of your life is that you don't need to make a change in your, I could walk you through what you can do to be successful with the relocation, but that's not what God has appointed for your life. What you need to do is make change within you. The change that you're searching for is not a new location. You're only thinking of relocating to a new city or state because you want change in your life. It's been in your spirit to make change, and you automatically concluded that it would be changing your region, changing your location. So you looked around for some place that might be relatively compatible for the climate that you're in now. You looked at the possibility of maybe looking in a region where there's 4 climates, 4 seasons, but you basically want to make change your location because you want to make change in yourself. You know that there's some changes that need to occur, but you didn't focus on you. Focus on making the changes within and not without. So I'm going to encourage you to do what God wants for you, and that is to make change within. So what does that look like for you? It looks like being whole in your body, mind, and spirit. So you are active because you're in a climate that allows you to be active year-round. Now, there are people who are not active, but you're in a climate where you can be active year-round. So you want to maintain that. That's something you don't need to change. You want to maintain being active. You may want to throw some weight training into that in addition to the things that you do. I know you do, yoga, and you didn't tell me this in your communication, but God allowed me to see in that secret place. You're doing yoga, you do Pilates, you do some other things, and you may want to increase some weight training in that also. You use some mild weight training with some of your exercises, but you may want to improve some of that. That's the first thing. You're going to have to really focus on your mind and your spirit. So there's got to be a change in your mind. Now you've been thinking about what change looks like. Relocation looks like. But you have to change what the inner mind looks like. What's going on inside your mind there has to be a change. And when that change occurs, by reading, by meditating, by staying informed, as the mind begins to change, you're going to find that you will have more peace, that you will have more clarity of thought, you will have a real source of direction. You're going to have to change the mindset. I've been working on something, the millennial mindset. Well, you're not a millennial. You're beyond that millennial phase. You're in your 40s, and now you want to relocate and change because you think you have the opportunity to do that. But I'm going to encourage you to pursue a bigger opportunity, and that is to change your mindset. To know that just because you're in your 40s, first of all, it's not the end. Second of all, you really should focus on increasing your ability to think with clarity and to, watch this, visualize what the future can hold for you. And then you're going to have to work on your spirit. So what does that look like for you? Working on your spirit for you implies that you're going to find it necessary to get back to your first love. Get back to, and when I say your first love, meaning you grew up in the church. You attended church for a while, then you dropped off. You started going again, you dropped off. You started going again, now you're in your 40s and you spend more time at the beach than you do in church. The beach has become your habit. You're spending more time at the beach than you are meditating on what God wants for your life. You're spending more time at the beach than you are reading the Word of God. You've got to get back to the basics. You read books, but you're not reading what's going to empower your life. And now in your 40s and being divorced, you're feeling you want to change. But the change can all take place in you. And you will have a much better quality of life. Sure, you could relocate to another city or another state. And I could sit here and tell you in this broadcast today and tell you how to relocate, how to, before you start making a transition and disrupting your savings, to really focus on, and this is for all our listeners and viewers who God is sending on an assignment of relocation. You've got to look at the geographical area. You've got to make certain that you start sending out your resume or looking for your transfer or whatever's necessary before you make the move. You've got to look at housing opportunities. You've got to look at, if you had small children at home, you'd have to look at schools. You don't have that issue, but I just want to share this with all of our listeners and viewers. I could tell you how to look at the culture in the area. I could tell you all of those things on how you're going to make a successful relocation. But that's not what God has for you. All your change needs to come from within. Body, mind, and spirit. And I know you look at yourself right now and you say, well, my body's in good shape. I'm doing yoga. I'm doing all of those things that we do to keep our body in shape. You keep working on that. Don't stop. All of those things are good. You can enhance that. But your mind and your spirit is what you're going to have to work on. Your mind and your spirit. And once you work on your mind, you'll begin to have peace. And once you work on your spirit, you'll have peace, perfect peace. Not just peace, and not just peace that surpasses all understanding, but perfect peace. And I just want to encourage you, because you have the opportunity, the stability and the opportunity to build a better quality of life without disrupting it, moving to a new city and state where you've got to start all over again, getting to know new people and getting to know people, period, getting to know learning how to navigate your way around that particular environment and culture. You can do that right where you are. You can maintain and renew what you've been doing right where you are. But the change that you're looking for is not external. The change that you're looking for is internal. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue so that you can experience T-Mobile as a customer. Experience T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your mother has not been a good example for you and your sister. You respect her as being your mother, the person who brought you into this world. However, you feel she has not been a good example. And although you are having success in your career and in your personal life, to God be the glory, you said your personal life is improving constantly. However, your sister is not having success. So let me first of all begin with this. Parents are not perfect. Parents are just parents. Now, God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life. You've made some statements that are correct. You don't feel your mother's been a good example for you and your sister. I get it. We don't get to choose our parents. We get to choose friends, but we don't get to choose our parents. The parent that you have is the one that God has assigned for your life. However, you've moved beyond that. You have worked to be successful in both your professional life and your career and in your personal life. So you are making progress, constantly improving, you said. Your sister has decided to use your mother's example to become a victim. You've become a victor, you've become victorious, and you're still becoming. As you said, your personal life is constantly improving. Your life is constantly improving. What your sister has done is chosen to use your mother's example as an excuse for the condition of her life. And the truth of the matter is, she's not working as hard as you're working. She's not living life the way you're living life. And so consequently, there's no progress. And you want for her the same thing you want for yourself. That's good love. You know, when you want for someone else what you want for yourself, that's good love. Or if you want more for them than you want for yourself, that's good love. The problem is that until your sister decides that she's no longer going to use that example as an excuse, that she's going to overcome the example. And you know, this happens a lot in families where parents haven't been good examples. You're always going to have a child or children are going to say, I don't want to live my life that way. And then you're going to have children who decide that becomes their excuse for why they've lived the way they've lived until this day. Because they have to find some place to lay the blame for the lack of their success. But the truth of the matter is that when we work hard, and when we work smart, when we work effectively and efficiently, if we're doing that every single day, there's no way that life is not going to be better, that it's not going to get better. Because God is forever present in the lives of those of us who are saved. So that's the first step. Now your sister's saved, so God allowed me to see in that secret place of your lives. You both are saved. Your mother was saved, but she's just living her life the way she chooses to live her life. Or let me say this, she's lived her life the way she chose to live her life to this day. And now she doesn't have a great quality of life. And she has enough to get by, but she's not living out the fullness of God now. And the reason is simply because she chose to live her life randomly, without discipline, and for the approval, or I shouldn't say even the approval, for the acknowledgement of others. For others to acknowledge that she had it going on. So she was doing all of the things that she wanted to do. You know, that the gambling, the drinking, the partying. She was doing all of those things. You know, we've all been there, but at some point, many of us, I should say, have been there. But at some point, in some form, everyone doesn't have the same sins. But we've all had our own sins. But at some point you have to decide to go and sin no more. And what I mean by that is not to say that we're ever going to be without sin in our lives, but you know, when we were sinners, meaning we were consciously sinning every day, the quality of life was never as good as we thought it was. But now that we make the conscious decision to sin less every day, and we sin less every day, and some days we can go without sin, life is so much better. Your mother hasn't chosen to live that way. You have made the decision that you wanted a better life. Your sister never made that decision. You know, it's like making the decision to be saved. You made the decision to work out your salvation. She's made the decision to live with her salvation. And then you've got to remember that even though you're close to your sister, you two communicate with frequency, you live different lives. So all you can do for her is pray for her success, that she will desire to improve the quality of her life, that she will someday work to improve the quality of her life, and that at the end, like as your mother's aging out, we all are, but as your mother's aging out now and is in her, later 60s, you have to realize that that's the life that your sister has chosen to date. Hopefully she will come into recognizing, and you didn't tell me this in that secret place, but God allowed me to see in that secret place of your life, your mother actually is about to turn 70. So your sister is on the track of living a life that will result in the life that your mother's having today, which is just making enough to get by, living on enough to get by, living from month to month. And you want more for her, pray for her. And pray that God will change your heart, and that at some point in time, keep planting the seed that you want so much more for her. And at some point in time, God willing, she will make the decision that she wants more for herself. Because it's real important that each and every one of us awaken every day and live with the intent to experience a better quality of life, to experience the fullness of God, and to someday maximize the fullness of God. So just keep doing what you're doing. Continue praying for your sister and believing God that someday she will desire a better quality of life. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by WarriorCustomGolf.com. Times have changed. There's no need to spend big money for great golf clubs. Warrior Custom Golf believes you should have the ultimate golf experience with quality golf clubs that don't break your bank account. You can order golf clubs from WarriorCustomGolf.com that will be manufactured and designed for your specification at Warrior Custom Golf at WarriorCustomGolf.com. And Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. If you're not in any of those areas, go to ctshirts.com, type in the search bar, golf, the word golf, and you will see all of the golf attire that Charles Tyrwhitt has to offer at ctshirts.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have a sudden desire to become a better version of yourself that you've heard me often talk about. You said in your communication that you have made some simple changes, however, you've been listening to the broadcast and you really want to know what it requires for you to become a better version of yourself. So, it's very interesting that you asked that question, because I was just having a conversation about this the end of the week and the beginning of this week, end of last week and the beginning of this week, because it really does require work for each of us to be a better version of ourselves. You know, I often talk about how it's real important to make certain that if you're going to be a better version of yourself, the very first thing that we have to do is we have to renew our mind and renew the right spirit. So we have to really examine our attitude. We have to really decide, do we have the right attitude that is conducive for our success? And then we have to look at our behavior, our behavioral patterns, because there is a pattern there. You know, many of us have behavioral patterns that are exactly the same every single day. That doesn't make it life boring. That just means that we are very focused. We have made a commitment to living life in a specific way. So what's your behavioral pattern? You know, it can be as simple as, and you mentioned that you've made some simple changes, but it can be as simple as, are you eating right? It's not to say that you cannot enjoy what you eat, but are we eating right? As you know, first Thursday of every month, we have Rebecca Bouvar, a licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, on the broadcast with us, our monthly contributor right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So we've provided information about how to improve, enhance our eating habits. So Rebecca's with us first Thursday of every month. So are we eating right? Are we getting exercise? So those are the things we can do. Are we getting enough rest? Those are the things that we can do to take care of our body and that also will help our mind. So we have to renew the mind. We have to decide, make a conscious decision. You've already said you have the desire inside of you to become a better version. So we have to decide, what commitment are we going to make to be a better version of ourselves? And are we going to be diligent in our efforts? Are we going to get up every single day and put our best foot forward every single day, not skipping one day? Now that doesn't imply that you're going to make it to the gym every day. That doesn't imply that you're going to run 5 miles every day. That doesn't imply, but it implies that whatever we determine is going to make us a better version of ourselves, are we doing that every single day? You might want to set a routine for your exercise that will help you to become a better version of yourself. Are you reading every single day? Are you reading the Word of God every single day? So I've encouraged our church to do this, and I'm going to say this to you. A couple of weeks ago I mentioned, you know, a lot of people say, well, I don't even know where to start. The Bible's difficult to understand sometimes, and I don't even know where to begin. Begin with the book of Psalms. Read one chapter a day. One chapter every day. And then when you complete that, because that'll take you almost half a year, when you complete that, start reading Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the Gospels. And then maybe from there you can go to the book of Acts. And then what I'm saying to you is read every single day, and then find some things that are going to enhance your performance in your career to read, and finances to read every single day. Are we going to be diligent? And are we going to seek to have the spirit of excellence? Are we going to be seeking to be excellent in everything that we do? That's going to create a better version of ourselves. And that will result in the beginning of being successful, maximizing our success, and experiencing the fullness of God in all of our lives. We all should want to be a better version of ourselves every day. We should work to that end. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D is brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you